It's me, Jay. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today, I wanted to do a tier list on the Tekken 7 characters that's more so based around my enjoyment of each of these characters. So it's pretty much a fun tier list. So I will be rating every single character in Tekken 7, and I will be judging how fun they are. Like, do I think they're extremely fun? Do I think they're quite enjoyable? So still pretty fun, but not my favorite. Do I think they're just okay? Like, not too boring, not too fun. Do I think that they're just not my cup of tea? Or do I find these characters, do I find a certain character extremely boring? So that's how I will be rating all of these characters right now. So let's get started. So let me see, YouTube. Okay. Just check and make sure I'm still recording. Okay, so when I think of, I guess maybe I should go in order, like in which they're listed. So it seems like they're listed in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Akuma. So as far as Akuma, so this really is not a Tekken character at all. He's a guest character from Street Fighter. I will be honest, I have not played Akuma too much. Like I've dabbled and dabbled a lot with every single character on this list, but some I've played more than others. And Akuma is one of those characters that I really did not play too much of. Like I kind of have a feel for it. Like I kind of, like every character has their little style and how you play them. So I got a bit of a feel for it. And I feel like this character really has a lot going for him. Like I think he's definitely very interesting. It's just the 2D stuff is too flashy. It's really, I think Akuma belongs in just not my cup of tea. Like I don't find Akuma to be boring, but he's definitely not for me. Like it's just, I don't like the 2D fighting style. I don't like all the flashiness. I don't like all the choppiness of the 2D fighters. But I do think this character has a lot to offer. Like he seems interesting. I mean, I feel like with Akuma and Geese and the other 2D characters that they really wanted to take a risk to make, to have something different for Tekken 7. So I'm kind of inclined to put him into okay. Or because I don't find, well, I'm not going to put him in okay because I really don't have fun fighting with Akuma, but I can appreciate the 2D risk they played with Akuma, or that they put the risk that they took with putting Akuma in the game. Like I think he does have a lot of interesting things there. It's just, he's just not my cup of tea. So I'll leave it at that. Alyssa. I feel like she's quite enjoyable. I'm not the biggest fan of Alyssa, but I will say the chainsaws, all the flying around, all the other bullshit that she has, it is quite enjoyable actually. So I would say she is quite enjoyable. She's really fun to troll people with, I would say. Not my favorite character, but I can see that. And I'll put her in okay. I don't think there's much explanation needed here. Just okay. Armor King. I feel like Armor King is extremely fun. I don't play him that much, but I find that this character, and as well as a few others that I'm going to mention when I get to them, I find that he's very intuitive when you play him. Like you really have to be focused, and and I feel like he also teaches you a lot about punishing characters. And I don't know, I feel like he helps you learn the game, but he's also very intuitive and pretty good to have a cool design as well. So I think those all kind of add into Armor King. So I would just say that he's extremely fun to fight with. Like I don't play him much, but I can see him being fun. Asuka. I would put Asuka in okay. Not the biggest fan. I used to play her a lot back in Tekken 5 and Tekken Tag 2. So I can't put her in not my cup of tea because I did play her a lot. But these days, I'm just not that interested in Asuka anymore. I find her game plan and just fighting style overall to be a little, it's just okay to me. Like, it's not bad at all, but it's not, I don't really have just that much fun fighting with her anymore. But I am interested in fighting with Jun Kazuma in the future. So that was my other main back in Tekken Tag 2. And I guess June wasn't in Tekken 5. But yeah. Bob, not my cup of tea. I honestly do not like this character. This character just jumps around the whole screen like some kind of pinball or some shit. Like, Bob is not fun. He's not I would not say he's extremely boring. I mean, he has a lot going on for him. Like, he has a lot of cheesy stuff that's kind of, trollish, but I don't like him. Not my cup of tea. Brian is, I would say, extremely fun. And I think what makes Brian extremely fun is that he, like Armor King, he's another character that's very intuitive. And I feel like he has really high execution. And I think that also adds into it. I mean, it's not fun losing because boy, oh boy, do I lose a lot with Brian. But I think he's intuitive. He keeps you engaged in the game. And I think that makes the character really fun. Claudio, I'll say he's okay. I would say he's not my cup of tea. I really want to put him down here, but I think of the newer characters, he has the most potential. Like, he's just okay to me. Nothing really cool going for him. I mean, the whole Starburst thing is somewhat interesting, but I feel like it's not developed well enough at all. Marduk, I would say he's quite enjoyable. Devil Jin, I would say Devil Jin's extremely fun. Kazumi, why is Kazumi right here? I would say she's okay. So that's Devil Kazumi and here's regular Kazumi. So I would say the Kazumis are okay because I feel like that she is somewhat intuitive. She teaches you about the game, pretty much an easy mode Mishima, but still just missing something. It's just the game plan is a little too dull. I actually might move her down to not my cup of tea. I'll keep her in okay. Eddie, I would say he's quite enjoyable. I feel like this character is very unique, has a lot going for himself. He can be really cheesy, but Eddie is not by any means the strongest character. So although you can beat a lot of characters in the early ranks because they don't know the matchup, Eddie gets really difficult really fast. And I feel like he's also big on 50-50s. And I feel like 50-50 characters are some of the characters I enjoy the most. Like, I love having to be creative and keep the opponent guessing and stuff. So I'll put Eddie in. Quite enjoyable. Eliza, not my cup of tea for obvious reasons. Falcon Rom, I'll put Falcon Rom in okay. I just get it. Just text me. Okay, sorry. Okay. Fang, not my cup of tea. I don't know what it is about Fang. I don't know if it's his game plan itself isn't too bad. I find it to be a little dull and out of place. I don't know why. Fang Wei always strike me more as like a Virtua Fighter character, not really much of a Tekken character. Gonryu, not my cup of tea. Geese, not my cup of tea. Gigas, not my cup of tea. Heihachi, I would say he's quite enjoyable. Whoring. This might be controversial. Not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. I feel I really want to put Whoring in okay, but I find this character to be so spammy. He's like one of the most brain, not the most, but one of the most brain dead characters. I feel like every single Horong player plays him the exact same way, just pressing a whole bunch of kick buttons, just doesn't even seem like you know what you're doing. And I've really tried fighting with the Horong quite a few times, because there was a few times where I really wanted to, pick him up as a second or third character, but for some reason it just never clicked with me. I don't enjoy fighting with Horong. And I think he does belong at Tekken 7. I think he does bring something unique to the table. The Taekwondo is really good, but he's not my cup of tea. Of course, I'm allowed to change my mind, but I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't have fun playing with him that much. Jack, I would say Jack's okay. Jin is very fun. Jin is one of my favorite male characters in the game. I would say he's probably my second favorite male character after Lei Wulong. I find Jin to be very intuitive. I feel like when I'm playing with him, I'm like able to play really fundamentally, and it keeps me engaged. He has a lot of high execution stuff that you can always kind of challenge yourself with, but he also has like regular things, like regular execution combos and moves as well. So he's pretty balanced for the most part, except for those electrics. I cannot get that consistent for the death of me, or for the life of me, whatever the phrase is. Josie, not my cup of tea. Julia. So you guys already know Julia is my main. She goes all the way at the top. I find Julia to be very fun to fight with. I feel like she's like one of the perfect characters to learn the game with. Maybe not the best for beginners, because she does have a technical and execution barrier. Like, you do have to be really on point when it comes to doing some of her combos and moves. Like, a lot of her moves require a lot of inputs, and she can be very tiring to play. I will say that. So maybe not the best for beginners, but not the worst for beginners either. Like, I feel that Julia is very fun. She has an answer for everything. She's very strong. I've always been a fan of Julia, even before Tekken 7, before she became DLC, because now people just say, oh, you just like her because she's DLC. It's like, no, I always liked Julia. Yeah, she's fun. I feel like she has a tool for everything. She has a 10 frame, 11 frame, 12 frame, 13, 14, 15, 16 frame punishers and launchers. She has, I feel like her execution, although it is challenging, she has easier execution combos that you can do in place of it. Now, granted, they are lower damage, but still feasible. Like, I think she's a perfect character. Like, very all around, very strong. She has a throw game. She has a lot going for her. In fact, I think I'm going to do another video later, just pretty much pitching Julia as a character to pick up, because I really do find this character extremely fun. Katarina. Katarina will be my first character I put into extremely boring. I feel like her gameplay is very lazy, very uncreative, just kick, just very lazy to game plan. I'll put Kazuya in quite enjoyable. And the reason I put Kazuya and Heihachi in quite enjoyable and not extremely fun, because I do find them intuitive, but I find that they have a limited move set. And I'm a person, I actually prefer fighting with complex characters. That's how I've always been. Like, my very first main of the game was Lang Xiaoyu when I first started, like back in Tekken 3. So I always had a thing for characters with like a lot of moves and a lot of complexity. So, and I think just Heihachi and Kazuya lacking that complexity, that kind of makes me want to put them a little bit lower and quite enjoyable, but still very fun. King, I will put King in extremely fun. Kuma, quite enjoyable. He's quite complex and has a lot going on and very different. It's just a cute play style. Okay, remember how I said I like complex characters? I like them with the exception of this bitch. She's gonna go and not my cup of tea. I don't like characters that do all that teleportation, all that fuzz, all that flashiness. It really irks my skin. Like, it's just not my skin, but it really irks my nerves. Like, No. I may as well put Master Raven there too while I'm at it. Let's see. Lars. I found Lars extremely boring. And maybe I need to play him a little bit more, and I may change my mind, but I just find him to be very, very basic, you know. And another thing, he's also very flashy and just have that epileptic kind of movement I really dislike. Who else can I put in extremely boring? Lucky Chloe's extremely boring. Noctis is. Fun fact: out of every character in this game, Noctis is the character I hate fighting against the most. I feel like Negan's okay. Like I like what they did with the baseball bat and having that whole play style. Like I think his game plan is quite interesting and different and unique. Just he's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I wouldn't put him down there. I mean, I would. I think he's okay. Like I think he has an okay design. Shaheen, the most boring character in Tekken 7. Shaheen. Who else can go there? I would say Leroy can go there. Very dull game plan, uninteresting. Lydia can go there. I've actually never even bought Lydia, but based on what I'm seeing, I don't plan on ever buying her. Leo's not my cup of tea. Who else? Any other characters? Yoshi's not my cup of tea. I actually put him on okay. I don't mind Yoshi that much. I will put who else is not her. Not my cup of tea. I really do not like Zafina. I find she's complex, but I find her play style and game plan to be very stupid. If I'm being honest, I don't see. It's very strange, very weird, very annoying. I don't like her, and I don't really like fighting with her either. Okay, so now we got some characters left that I actually do like. I'll put Nina in. Okay, Miguel's okay. He's okay. Anyone else? Don't want to put an okay. Not my cup of tea. But she might be okay. Okay. So, I would say out of these remaining 7 characters, I would say even though Julia's my main and Lei Wulong is my main as well, or my secondary character, Ling Wulong along with Ling Xiaoyu, these are like my 3 characters I like that I main and play the most. I love these 3. I find them very fun. I like Lei and Xiaoyu just because the complexity, the always having to be creative, having to take risks. You have to be really intuitive with them. And I like that they're low execution as well, because sometimes after playing Julia for a long time, sometimes I just need like a break. But yeah, I love these characters. I love the mix-ups. I love the 50-50s. I just love being creative and just seeing how I can outsmart my opponent. So even though these 3 are my favorite characters to play, I would say the most fun character in the whole entire game that I tried out is a tie. I'm trying to decide who I like more. I think I like, it's out of Lee or Steve, or Lee and Steve. These 2 characters, Lee and Steve, are the characters that I had the most fun with fighting with out of everybody in the whole game. Like, I've enjoyed fighting with them more than Julia and Lei and Xiaoyu. Like, I find them to be very intuitive. You have to really think and be engaged in the game. They have a lot of good moves, a lot of good options, very interesting game plans, nice character designs. Some of the best in the game, if you ask me. Very unique, definitely iconic characters in my opinion. Um, and even the execution, although it's very challenging, I it keeps the game interesting. You know, like it's not impossible. Like I don't think Lee and Steve have everything that Lee and Steve has. Although their combos are, especially Lee, their combos are quite difficult. I feel like I'm capable of doing them. You know, like characters like Jin, Kazuya, Brian, yes, their staple combos are not bad, but a lot of their key moves, like electrics and even in their high damage combos, I don't feel like I'm even capable of doing them. You know, and it drives me crazy not feeling capable of doing it. Like Julia has some very difficult combos too that seem impossible, but I've done them before, you know? Like I don't do it all the time. I don't do it in game much at all. But I'm able to I've done it before, you know? I've done her hardest combo before and it's very hard. I'm not consistent with it at all, but I'm capable. So I see all that to say that's what I like about Lee and Steve. However, I'm also quite lazy too, so I know they'll take a lot of dedication and time, and I don't have time for that right now. But I will say all that to say, Steve and Lee are my favorite characters to fight with, like who I find to be the most fun. And I'll put Lee in front of Steve actually. I'll say that Lee Chaolan, this dude right here, most fun character in the game. You know, and maybe one day I will take time to learn him, cause boy would I. Law, I say he's quite enjoyable. DSS is very annoying, and Paul, I would say he's also enjoyable as well. Like he's really simple for my taste, but he's not a bad character at all. Like I feel like his execution that keeps things interesting with all the quarter circles because he's not as easy as people may think. But yeah, so I think he does require you to think once you get to a certain level. So yeah, so this is my character fun tier list. It's probably different from most of your other YouTubers that you guys probably watch. Like I don't know how other people feel about this list. Like, but I think it's on par pretty good though. I have a lot of popular opinions. I would say the least popular opinion about this tier list is probably putting her wrong right here. But I'm sorry, I do not find him fun.